What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another ASMR video. And this is not going to be a whispered video. This is going to be more soft spoken. And we are going to be doing something different because I'm also going to be doing my makeup while we are discussing this case. So this time, you guys, I have been loving the ASMR true crime stories. I'm having so much fun with you guys. And this case that we are going to talk about today is just straight cray cray. We are going to call this case the Twisted Twins. So if you want to know what I'm talking about and why I am calling it that, listen, Linda. You need to keep watching. Let's go. Okay, you guys, let's get started. So, like I said, the name of this case is the Twisted Twins. Not to be confused with Twisted Sister. I guess they can be that too, though. But you guys, these twins were so freaking off the chain. It's like, it's not even funny, right? So let me start telling you about these girls. So the name of the mom was Baaaccckkk Yvonne Whitehead, but she went by the name of Nikki. So Nikki was 34, and she was the mom of two twins. Side note, how many other twins would there be? Of course there's two. I hate when people say that, and I just said that. Anyway, she is the mother of twins, two girls, and their names were Jasmaya and Tasmaya, but they went by Jazz and Taz. Okay, just to get that done. And they were 16 at the time that, all the shit went down, right? They were 16. So it's interesting to note that Baaaccckkk had the twins kind of young. I believe she was 18, something like that, or probably about to be 18. And so her grandmother, Baaaccckkk, Nikki's, the mom's grandmother, ended up caring for the girls and basically raising the girls, so that's kind of the mom that they knew. So like I said, it was Baaaccckk's grandmother, which means she was the twins' great grandmother. How did I get hair in my mouth? Anyway, so got it figured out? Okay, good. So the twins had been living with great grandmama, and they were doing well. They were straight A students. They were in the Girl Scouts. Like, life was good, living my best life. So everything was good for the twins, everything's good. So Baaaccckkk comes back on the scene, and she decides that, hey, I got my stuff together. I'm ready to be a mama. So she was ready to get her girls back. Now it's interesting. The great grandmother, her name was, I think, Della Frazier. She said that up until the point that Baaaccckkk, Nikki, the mom, wanted the girls back, she really didn't have a lot to do with the girls, you know what I mean? She really didn't do a whole lot. She didn't have a close relationship with them. So great grandmother picked up on this, and the girls are 15, 16, so you know that they noticed it as well. Side note, my eyebrow is just fucked. We're gonna work it out, don't worry. So anyway, so the girls, did not want to go with their mom. They considered their great grandmother like a maternal figure for them. They did not want to go with Mommy Dearest. Like, it just wasn't gonna happen, right? And sis, I'm not going. Hell no, I won't go. Hell no, I won't go. So anyway, the mom ended up taking the grandmother to court to fight for custody. Her grandmother to court to fight for custody, and she got custody of the girls. So the girls went to go live with mom. I'm going to show you guys how to cheat on your eyebrows. Just watch what I do, because you guys see how crazy mine are right now. Ooh, oh my gosh, what did I do? Oh my gosh, what did I do? And let's just say it was not good. Shit was not good. The girls did not like being with their mom. The mom was not living on her own. She and the girls were living with one of her boyfriends at the time. And apparently during this time, she had quite a few boyfriends. So it was just kind of all around bad situation. And stuff really hit the fan because they got in a fight because the mom suspected that the girls were smoking marijuana, ditching school, and, being with little boys, having a real hot girl summer, sis. Girls are saying, but whoa, 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 skirt, pump your brakes. How you gonna tell us about smoking weed? You smoke weed, your boyfriend smokes weed, and this is like the third boyfriend whose house you drug us to in a matter of months. How, sis? How, sis? So, of course, mom didn't like that. So they got in a fight, and the girls ended up double teaming the mom, and they ended up dragging her down the hallway. So, of course, the police were called. The girls were taken out of mom's house into like juvenile detention center, because they had been in and out of that as well. And then they were put back in the custody of Miss Frazier, grandmama. So, everything was good. The girls were mellowing out. Everything was going good. Mom, Jamaica, Nikki, got custody again on January 5th, 2010. Now, here's the interesting part. When, usually, I don't know if you guys know a lot about the family court system, but they always hear from like the parent, they hear from the guardian of the kid who actually has them, and then they hear from the kid, right? So, the grandmother is saying that she doesn't really think the girls want to be over there. She's capable of raising them, like blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm where the girls need to be. The girls are thriving with me. Like, they are making good grades. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, blah, blah, blah. Leave them here. So, the mom, Nikki, is like, no, I want my kids home. Those are my daughters. They need to get their ass home. So it's interesting to point out that one of the twins, both of the twins, protested the decision. Like, no, I'm not going. I don't want to be over there with her. So even before all of this happened, one of the twins threatened fatal action during a counseling session if they were sent back with the mom. Jasmia said, if I have to move back with her, I'll kill her. Now, she said this in court. That should have been a super big sign, like, okay, something's going on. Something's not right. I don't know. Like, something's not right, right? So anyway, so the court says, okay, let's compromise. We will put you back over there for 2 weeks, and, just give it a 2-week period. If you don't like it, blah, 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 then we will discuss you moving back in with Miss Frazier, who is their great-grandmother, who we've been talking about, right? Now, the judge said that, or family court said, just give it 2 weeks. You guys, within 1 week, their mom was dead. How crazy is that? So, okay, let's get into what happened. So the mom was found dead on January 13th, 2010. And the twins said that they discovered the mom dead. Now, it's important to note that at this time they were living with the mom's boyfriend in Conyers, I think it's called Conyers, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. So they were living with him, and this is in his house, and it was in his guest restroom, his guest restroom. That's where she was found. So basically, she was hit over the head with a vase, and then she was stabbed like multiple times, right? Now, since he's the boyfriend and she was found in his house, of course he's the first suspect. And then at this time, mom is like, a little younger. She's in her 30s. This guy's a little older. He's in his 50s. So he was a major suspect at the time because they're like, look, just tell us what's going on. Something ain't right. We know something's not right. Everything is not well in Denmark, honey. So the mom is found on the bathroom floor of the restroom belonging to the boyfriend. Sorry if I look crazy right now. I have on a peach corrector just because I wanted to try it out. I haven't used it yet. So anyway, mama is on the floor in the bathroom. Now, when the police and the coroners and all that got there, they noticed how like intense this scene was. They were just like, okay, this is definitely a crime of passion. So the boyfriend, of course, is the first suspect because, sweet little kids just don't do stuff like this. You know what I mean? Little girls are like made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Like, little girls are not about to do this. Or will they? Anyway, so here's how the mom's body got discovered. So let me just go into basically the girls are walking home from school. They see a police officer. They flag him down and say, hey, our mom's dead in the bathroom. We just got home and discovered her dead. So, that's how the cops got involved. The cops call his people, and that's how the cops get there. The ambulance get there. But they noticed that it was a crime of passion, so immediately they blamed the boyfriend. So this was like such a sloppy killing, right? So there was DNA everywhere. They looked into all the DNA. Boyfriend's DNA was nowhere to be found. And with a killing like this vicious and this sloppy, the killer's DNA was definitely there. Now, they did learn something that was really interesting because they looked at the twins, and the twins actually had like scratches and bite marks and all of that. So they kind of tucked it in their, in their noggin. They didn't say too much, but they were eventually charged in May of 2010. Keep in mind, mom died in January, but they weren't charged until May. So they had a good, 4, 5, 6 months of freedom before they had to go to jail and kind of face charges for what they had done. So during this time, I always feel for like the people that are blamed for something that, they didn't do. Because during this time, I know the boyfriend probably felt like he was a major suspect. And, cops are like, they're there to do their job. They don't want to hear like, no, I didn't do it, or no, this or that. They're like, yeah, you did. They're going to try to put the pressure on you and try to get you to, admit to your crime. It just sucks when you actually didn't do it, because it's probably feels like you're just like fighting an uphill battle. That has to be like the worst feeling in the world. Worst feeling. So after the twins had been in jail, they finally went to court in 2014 in January, which is coincidentally the same month that they killed their mom, So they went to court. Tasmia pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter, which I have no idea how that would be voluntary manslaughter, but maybe that's the deal they worked. Anyway, she got 30 years in prison. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison. And 1 month after that, in February of 2014, her twin, Jasmia, also pled guilty to the same sentence and got the same amount of time. Now, it's also interesting to note that the twins are placed at separate prisons within the Georgia Department of Correction. So they're both still in Georgia. They're just at two separate prisons. And I wonder how that is. Like, I'm sure they're twins, so they want to be, with each other like as much as possible. So I know that has to be a punishment as well. Before I talk about prison, let me talk about the girls talking about the crime, right? Because up until this point, they really hadn't said anything. So they said, basically, the girls started talking about it, and they said what happened was, the judge had moved them in there to stay with their mom for those 2 weeks, and they already kind of knew they weren't going to make it because she was driving them crazy. They were driving her crazy. Like, it was just a whole mess, right? So they said that on the morning that their mom was murdered, they woke up to go to school. They woke up late and they were getting ready to leave the house, and the mom was in the kitchen and she started like going off, talking noise, cursing at them, whatever. Go off, sis. Oh, she grabs a pot and starts threatening the girls. So the girl wrangles the pot out of her hand. So at this point, the mom grabs a knife. So they're struggling for the knife now, right? Nikki, the mom, ends up getting cut, like not stabbed, just slice cut. It's bleeding. So she runs out of the house and she goes to the neighbor's house because both girls have been fighting her. So clearly, if it's 2-on-1, you're going to be tired. You're going to be out of breath. You're going to be like mentally over the whole situation, especially if you're fighting like cats and dogs at freaking 8 o'clock in the morning. Who does this? And so she goes to a neighbor's house. Unfortunately, the neighbor was not home. So she stands on the porch for a while, can't get a hold of the neighbor. So she comes back into her house. She's sitting down at the kitchen table, just trying to rest and trying to catch her breath. Now, at this point, Tasmaya, of course, we're taking the girls' words for what happened. Let me go get some press powder. Hang on, guys. Okay, so yeah, we're taking the girls' word on what happened, but they said that their mom just lunged at the knife. Now, I find this a little hard to believe because if you've gone through this like big emotional, like normal people don't fight like cats and dogs like this, like first thing in the morning, hell, anytime throughout the day. Nobody is doing all this, like fighting with their parents. I don't know. Not my house, at least. So, but they said their mom lunged at the knife. Now, this is what I kind of find hard to believe because if you're tired, if you catch on your breath, why are you trying to get the knife? Like, why are you starting this whole fight again? Like, I don't know. I just didn't believe that part unless she was possibly trying to get the knife like away from her daughter. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. What do you guys think about that part? Because I just don't believe that. So anyway, Taz says that Nikki lunges at the knife, and that's the first, how she got stabbed. And so Taz said, of course she's in a panic, so she's just stabbing her, and no one really knows what happens at that point. However, Nikki ended up getting cut bite marks on her. She also got stab wounds to her lungs, her jugular, and the back of her neck. And the stab wound to the back of the neck is the one where her spinal cord was severed. So basically they paralyzed her. You know what I mean? Sweet girls. So a lot of people have said that the twins have despised their mom as far as her really strict behavior. Like, she was no nonsense when it came to no boys, no drugs. You better have your little fast ass in school somewhere. And maybe they really were doing some stuff and they were able to get away with some of it with the great grandmother. sometimes it's kind of easier to get away with stuff with older people, so maybe there's that. And they know if they're with their mom, they wouldn't be able to get away with as much stuff. I don't know. Who knows? But the girls have been in jail since they were arrested in May of 2010. So they didn't like bail out to, await the trial at home or anything like that. And I don't know if it's because maybe the family did not have the money for bail, or if it's because the family really didn't want them there. Keep in mind they were with their great great grandmother, which was the mom's grandmother. So maybe she's like, okay, I tried to help you little heifers and you killed my granddaughter. Like, who knows at this point? It's really not clear why they were not released out on bail. Or maybe the judge was thinking, no, you two do not need to get out because who knows if you'll be a flight risk or if we can find you or whatever. I do want to say that since they have been in prison, um, the prison that Jasmaya was in, which is Arundel State Prison, which is in Georgia, they hosted their first ever charter high school graduation. So they were in prison, but they were like working with a charter school to get like um, the credits and classes that they needed to graduate. So Jasmia was able to graduate. And I know even with everything that has happened, that probably made her mom like super proud. And get this, you guys, she graduated as the class valedictorian. Y'all, that's hard to graduate valedictorian and at a charter high school and you're locked up. Like, it's stressful to be locked up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know for sure, but I would think so. I would think it would be like super stressful to be like locked up. So she also went to the Central Georgia Technology or Technical College, and she graduated in computer technology and customer service. And sis graduated class valedictorian there as well. You guys, these were smart girls. These were not dumb girls by any means. They just, man, something happened, you know what I mean? And if whatever happened had not happened, these would have been like, I would think, decent girls that had like a decent future for them, you know what I mean? Okay, you guys, Jasmia was not done. So she also graduated from Arundel State Prison. They have a Life University college graduation, and she received her Associate of Arts in Positive Human Development and Social Change. She graduated summa cum laude with the Vitalism honor. So she starts her BS for psychology, her Bachelor's of Science in Psychology in the fall. You guys, so Tasmia is now a student in the Ashland University degree program, and she's working on her degree in business art and communication. Man, these girls are not dumb, you know what I mean? That's what makes it so freaking sad. And I had heard about this story quite a bit. I had heard about the story quite a bit. However, the version that I had heard of was like, these two basically evil sisters wanted to do whatever they wanted to do. Mom was a struggling single mom and they killed her because she wouldn't let them, do whatever. And I'm not saying that they are innocent or deserve to be free by any means. You kill somebody, especially your damn mama. Like, what the hell? You kill your mama, the one person that's gonna have your back. It's so interesting because reading this has given me a different viewpoint on the story, if you will. Maybe I think sometimes when people die, we as humans have a tendency to just paint them like as an angel, and no one deserves to die. However, sometimes people can contribute to some of the consequences that happen. And it sounds like these girls were raised by their great grandmother, really loved her, and really wanted to stay with her. You know what I mean? It's just kind of sad that the court system pulled them out, made them go with a woman that they really didn't know, and then it resulted in all of this. Okay, you guys, so I definitely hope you like this video that I am calling the Twisted Twins. And I think I want to start doing some videos where some are ASMR and then some are like regular speaking, because you guys, sometimes some of these cases be so good, it's hard to it's hard to keep it in ASMR, you know what I mean? So if you guys like this, definitely give it, hang on, let me put my lip gloss on. Okay, you guys, so if you like this video, definitely give me a huge thumbs up. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Don't forget to leave me some comments or suggestions on some topics that you would like to hear me cover, especially with the true crime whole situation, or if you just have some ideas for some pop-in ASMR videos you'd like to see me do and film, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Your girl would definitely appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.